Hi YouTube, how are you doing? I'm doing pretty good, a little better than I have for a couple days. When a person has the dark cabal coming against them their entire life, it's a never-ending thing. So some days it gets to me worse than others. But yesterday or 2 days ago, I made up my mind I'm going to approach the situation a little differently. I have some abilities that they are not aware of. And if they would have just left me alone, I wouldn't have to defend myself. But that's not the case. They don't leave me alone. That's the point. And I'm not the only person that they try to manipulate and control. If it were just me, you know, and people are like, well, like you just got this ability or this door open for. No, when I was 12, I started looking at every variable, and I don't attack like on a straight line, linear. Sometimes it's from the inside out or any direction. And no, you aren't going to block it. And no, you can't catch me. And you have no clue what's coming towards you, because if you would have just left me alone and picked on somebody your level, what's going to happen to you would not have happened. So, and yesterday I was talking about my Morgellons research. I had come up with what somebody had actually given me a piece of furniture, and I thought it odd that they had gloves on when they did that, but I ended up getting what the CDC and the Mayo Clinic calls unknown fluke. Well, I got a microscope and I started doing my own studies. I'm going to tell you about it in a minute here. This is why I'm so angry that my work got plagiarized, because the entirety of the cure and what it is going to take science 10, 20 years. I mean, the dark cabal isn't going to put out what it is ever to help anybody, and that's what really pisses me off. So you can keep it at bay by cutting down on your sugar, and of course we know that anyway, and having bicarbonate soda, usually daily, but especially if you have a lot of carbohydrates or sugars in your system. So I started doing my research, and I found out that this Morgellons has three components to it. One is related to a fluke. It's like what they would call a schistosomiasis. Another part of it has uh, it's like like a syphilis type, but these are all bugs that are, it's three different components, and the other one is related to a deep sea snail that they had used spider DNA and exoskeleton to make it tougher, so we couldn't combat it. You have to combat that in different ways within our systems to get rid of that. And each one of these bugs has 7 components to it, and each one of those bugs have gestation systems of their own, like one's 28 days, another's 30 to 32, and so on and so forth. So my research on this disease is extensive, and how it's contracted, or um, how we get it, how what are different circumstances in our lives that will weaken our immunity. Like I had valley fever. My youngest son and I had valley fever, and that allowed some of this to um, activate in our systems. And they're controllable by the dark bulk, these creatures inside of us. That's why detoxing is so important. But there's only one cure that I have found, and that's not just combating it with the bicarbonate soda like Susan Davidson stole from me, but is actual just plain water. Kills the bug, but there's no way you could do it. Well, maybe there is scientifically a way to do a complete transfusion, not of just blood, but to put the whole system through a water bath of some sort while still suspending the brain and the heart. Um, so I don't know if that's possible. But this is my research that was sold, and that's why I'm so angry about it. And how these creatures inside of us are used by the dark cabal. If you wear like different types of clothing and metals and makeup with like when they came out with what was that mineral type makeup with minerals in it, I totally freaked out for people. I'm like, no, don't put that on your skin. Even perfumes we wear, all different types of things that are meant to use as a control mechanism with the frequencies. And this is all so true. And I've tried to get other people that want to dole this information out and make money off of it, or get recognition or a name. And I've tried to talk to people about it and bring some light, more light into the subject. And they stifle me at every corner. And you think I'm not angry about it, or the people that attack me just because of my personality, or you think that if you cheated on your wife, like I'm going to look down on you just for that alone? No, I don't care what you do personally. What you do to me and it affects other people, that's what I care about. Now this week, you're going to find out exactly what I'm made out of, and it is not something you can handle. So, am I mocking? No, I'm dead serious. You pissed off the wrong person. So, I mean, you can let your integrity slide all you want. I'm not your savior. I don't even care what you do with yourself. That's you. That's your soul. If you don't care about it, why the fuck should I? You know? And it's not only that I would have made the best friend for anybody that wants a real good friend. That's not even the issue because I can do things alone. I have all my life. But no, I just didn't acquire something. I was planning this at 12. Should I repeat it one more time for you with my premonitions and different things that are real? That's not just deja vu. These are actual things in our lives that are real, you know, like you've lived it before. That's the spirit giving you a heads up. Well, I had flooded massive amounts of information at one time. Even as a kid, I had no words for some of the science within myself that I was being taught by the Spirit of God. And now you're going to find out what that is and how much I actually do know about biology and human or what would it anatomy, yeah, and exactly the mechanics of that and how it works and how I am the master of that. And the dark cabal's going to find out they serve the wrong master. I don't want nobody serving me. That's not what I'm getting at. I work for God. But God doesn't tell me what to do. I have my own mind and it works perfectly well. Thank you. That's called alignment. That's not something I was given. That's who I was born. This is who I am, not something that I didn't have. And the ones that came against me are going to find out just what some of that is. And I got more. I'm going to dole it out just like they did their pretend love. You're going to feel one blow, and then you are not going to know when the other one's coming, and another, until you expire. Because I'll never quit fighting, and you will not win. You'll find out just what I'm made out of. And that, my sweet people, is for every dear heart out there trying to do things the right way around people that could care less. I'm doing it for you. I could have stayed there just sick and not spent any money on a microscope and just felt sorry for myself because they took chunks out of my leg, one out of my thigh, um, one down by my knee, and another plug out of my head to send pieces of me to be tested on what they could not identify. And they're lying, of course. And then they tried to hide my records, the CDC. But luckily at that time I had printed out my own copies, and I have other places where it's documented so they can't hide their deception. Isn't that bad? Yeah, I have a lot of reasons to be super angry, like trying to be mind controlled when I was a little kid. Going into it, I protected myself. That's where they didn't know. They thought no matter what I said or what I did that I was under their control. No, I'm uncontrollable. Nice try, no cigar. And that's what they're going to find out. Just because I sat back and let people play their games till I got sick of it doesn't mean I was weak or unknowing. I know full well what people do. So just be prepared. These creeps got some shit coming towards them. They're going to find out what mastery of the mind actually is all about. I'm going to have to show them. An example of sweetness and love didn't help. Now they're going to see ferocious and exactly what that wildness means. That's not chaotic. This is entirely planned for a very long time, decades before these people were even born. So, yeah. I'm not cruel to anybody that's a decent human being. I don't do that. It's against my nature. I refuse. But when I see people doing things to other people, well, they shouldn't have made it personal. If they wanted to be an asshole to everybody, that's one thing. That would make me mad enough to actually probably hinder whatever they wanted to accomplish. But this got way personal. And being that I do have special abilities to help other people, that just spurs me on even worse. So you're going to sense some things in the ether and spiritually that you never thought you'd see in your life. And it's coming quick, and it's going to be powerful. Anyway, so I just want to make that clear. They should have just quit pushing me. When they laughed at my pain, that was the last straw. It's not funny. I've had so many and so many organizations and groups come after me. People are like, well, if you weren't that important to God, all these demons and whatever wouldn't come after you. That's no excuse. I'm not. using that in my repertoire of combat at all. You don't fuck with me and think you're getting away with them. How's that for the bottom line? So, anyway, so I just wanted to make it clear that yes, I have done a lot of research on it's. And did you know that all diseases and all cancer, even any leukemia, any scoliosis, different things, it's all related to one bug that is reminiscent of the syphilis bug, a curly little something something that's in all of us and can be activated in different ways depending on our environment and different things that we've been through in our life. And the dark cabal, of course, is aware of all of this. And I have been too since I was a child. But yet nobody wants to talk about science or biology with me and how it connects with the spirit and the interference or non interference within people. Why is that? Do people really enjoy their slavery so much that they would hurt the only person that's trying to help them and actually be physically harmed because of it? For you? Are you so in love with the filth on this planet that you would bypass the only person that wants it? Not that I'm not the only person that wants it to change. I'm the first person that started changing it, and they want me dead because of it. It's not even what I might do in the future, it's what I've already done. But there's more coming. I'm not stopping till their bullshit is over, and it will be. That's my legacy, what I'm leaving for the planet. Now, my brilliance in biology might not ever be tapped into for people, and that really angers me, almost beyond words. Fighting mad for that one. Really vicious when it comes to that. And I've known their games. I used to work and talk with people from England that were part of uh, Christian Scientists way back when. In I think I started communicating with them in 1970. You know, might have been 69. I was pretty young. And I wrote them a letter, and then I started getting their magazine and seeing what they're, because their knowledge base of what the Jesuits knew and what I grew up knowing was all they were writing about it in this magazine. Well, it was like a newspaper. And then they crumbled in like the late 70s, and then they resurfaced again in the 90s. So, but I mean, I've been into science my whole life. I I mean, dissecting things. I had a frog. I won the. We had to take a live frog and take part of its fatty tissue off the stomach lining. That is more tender than a human being and very tiny, of course. And some of the people killed their frogs with the ether, the anesthetic. Um, but mine lived, and I had the best sutures and different things. And so anyway, the reward was they took me to Burger King. Whoop-de-doo. But it was pretty cool, you know, in science. So actually being able to do a surgical operation I'm a tiny critter and everybody else has died. That should tell you a little bit about my actual physical abilities. Like if you needed stitches or something, I don't freak out at blood, you know? I mean, it's not pleasant, don't get me wrong, you know? Uh, my body itself, after I gave birth the first time, I bled for about 12 years and it wouldn't stop. Even I had another child in between there, but I mean, um, just the way my body reacted. Well, he ripped out of me, so, and then I sort of repaired, but I never fully recovered from all that. But yeah, so yeah, some weird things I've been through, people. But I had to discover what it was within myself. Even when I was a kid, I had low blood iron, and so did my youngest son. So I don't anymore. I finally got that under control. But I went into early menopause at 34, which is almost unheard of. So even my body's a little bit different than a lot of people's. I have no clue why, but I went through menopause at 34 years old. So yeah, and yeah, I crazy, right? So my body started changing at that time, like even more like somebody that would be middle aged or 20, 30 years older than me. I was going through the same things physically they were. So I had to do a lot of research um, with the chemical makeup of my body and the different things I had been through and what they had even tried to do to me and different drugs and poisons that they had done to me to either alleviate that, counteract that, or use it for my benefit. That's how my mind works. So, yeah, I'm a little weird. But I know God made me this way for everybody, and I am not going to give up ever. You're gonna watch me beat these fuckers down this week. Like I got something planned for them that they will not recover from, and then it's gonna be like them. I'll pull them in, and then I'll hammer them again. It'll be like the 10-pound. We got like a 20-pound circus mall out in the body shop. It'll be like a 20-pound circus mall coming down on their head. Yeah, I can swing it. I've done body work too. I owned a body shop when I was 17 with my first husband. And Doug's a body man, and I worked in two other body shops. So I have a lot of, like what I have on my Facebook. I wear many hats. Yes, I'm not uh, like the master of none, like many talents, master of none. No, I mastered many talents, and you're going to find out what they are. If I had wanted to sit in an office, which I was a secretary at one point, and an assistant manager at another point, if I wanted to continue that type of lifestyle and act all pretty and polished and not combat, I'd be like so many people, but that's not me. I do whatever I want to do when I want to do it. How many of you can say that? I couldn't when I had kids around. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there's times that I was saddled into a job, that I didn't like, you know, because my kids needed more than they were getting in life, and I had to provide no matter what it took. So that's just how I am. So, but I just wanted to let you know I'm not going to give up on anybody. And first off, you really do have to be fearless towards the dark cabal. And if you are, they're going to try and attack you. But if you're a coward, you already lost. You didn't lose the love of God, but you lost respect in their eyes. You're just another puppet. You're nothing. You can be used. You're expendable. I'm going to find out, or they're going to find out, that irrelevant trumps expendable. And they did trigger the wrong person for them. And they're also going to find out through their nightmares exactly what I've done all my life, that this is not brand new and I'm sick of being played with. So I'm going to leave it there today. I hope you all have a wonderful week ahead. I know I'm gonna. Now the fun begins. That's my kind of fun. It's called terrorization. How do you like it? Fucking tyrants, you protectors of pedophiles, you warmongering bitches. You're gonna find out what's up. So anyway, everybody, I love you. Thank you for joining me. Peace from Pine City, Minnesota, USA.